Okay, so we have this exponential equation here, looking scary, but it's simple. It is x equals 12 raised to the power log to the base 6 of 8x. So let's just look at how we're going to solve it. So when you have x equals 12 raised to the power log to the base 6 of 8x, we can still simplify the right hand side. We can now have it as x equals 12 can become 2 times 6. Then we still have the power, which is log 8x to the base 6. And then we can now use the power law of indices to open the bracket. Of course, we know 2 has a power 1 and 6 has a power 1 here. So we now have x equals log 8x base 6 times 1 gives you the same thing, gives you log 8x base 6. Mind you, I'm using this power to multiply the powers in the bracket. So this times 1 still gives the same thing. Then times the 6, and then log 8x base 6 times this 1 here still gives you log 8x base 6. And then looking at this part of the right hand side, this 6 raised to the power log 8x base 6, there's something that we can do here. So looking at this law here, where we have where the overall base is equal to the base of the logarithm, then the number of the logarithm becomes your value. So if you want to evaluate this, because the a here is the same thing as the a here, then the b here is your final answer. So I'm going to use the same trick here, because my 6 here overall base is the same thing as the base of the logarithm. Then my 8x will now be my overall answer, just like how this one is. So I'll simplify this one to just 8x. So I now have x equals 2 raised to the power log 8x base 6 times, this one simplifies to just 8x, following that rule I just gave you. Then I can divide both sides by 8x. So divide both sides by 8x. So this cancels this. I'm left with just 2 raised to the power log 8x base 6 equals, the x cancels x. I have 1 here remaining. So if 1 is remaining, so I have 1 over 8 left here, 1 over 8. So I can still go further. Since the right hand side is 2 raised to the power something, I can simplify the left hand side to also be 2 raised to the power something. First, I'll write 1 over 8 as 1 over 2 raised to the power 3, because 8 can be written as 2 raised to the power 3. So this one will now be 1 over 2 raised to the power 3 equals 2 raised to the power log 8x base 6. So of course, this one now becomes, if I convert this to negative index, I have following law of indices, then I will have 2 raised to the power minus 3 equals 2 raised to the power log 8x base 6. Since the bases are now the same, I can cancel out the 2. I'm left with log 8x base 6 equals to minus 3. Then, of course, following law of indices, 6 raised to the power minus 3 must surely give me 8x if I want to convert this to an initial equation. 6 raised to the power, the result here, which is minus 3, must give me 8x. So 6 raised to the power minus 3 equals 8x. And of course, I can rewrite this, change this to fraction, and I have 1 over 6 raised to the power 3 equals 8x. And put this 1 over 1. Of course, 6 raised to the power 3 is 216. So I now have 1 over 216 equals 8x over 1. Then I can cross multiply. 8x times 216 gives me 1728x. 1728x, because 8 times 216 is 1728. Then you have your x there. Equals 1 times 1 is 1. And finally, we can divide both sides by 1728. 1728 divided by 1728. So this cancels this, then x equals 1728. X equals 1 over 1728. So x finally is equal to 1 over 1728. So that's just it. Very simple and interesting.